My name is Adriaan Basson. I'm a senior investigative reporter at the Mail and Guardian Centre for Investigative Journalism, also known as Amabungane. For the past 2 or 3 weeks, the country has been talking about a mining deal involving President Jacob Zuma's son, Duduzane, the Gupta family, as well as other very unknown, quite unknown characters who attained a very big part of a mining right in the Northern Cape. I'm going to try and explain this deal so that everybody can understand what we are talking about and constantly reporting about. Basically, the story starts in 2001 when government owned a very big parastatal called Iscor. Now, Iscor did two things. Part of Iscor was a steel manufacturing plant in Vanderbijl Park. Other part of Iscor was actually a mine in Sishen, in the Northern Cape, that was mining iron ore, needed, obviously, to produce the steel. In 2001, the government decided to privatize Iscor and subsequently sold off the steel manufacturing plant to a company called ArcelorMittal and the mining part to a company called Kumba Resources. There was, however, one proviso. After this deal was concluded, ArcelorMittal owned 100% of the steel manufacturing plant in Vanderbijl Park. But the iron ore mine in Sishen, bought by Kumba Resources, actually owned by Anglo-American, only got 79% of the mine because ArcelorMittal wanted to keep 21% of this mine to be assured of a production of a constant flow of iron ore to the steel manufacturer. So we ended up basically, after this deal was done, with two private companies owning these mining rights in Sishen, a company called Kumba Resources and ArcelorMittal owning 100% of the steel manufacturer and a 21% stake in Kumba Resources, in the Sishen mine, not in Kumba Resources itself, in the company, but in the mine, in the Sishen mine. Kumba owned 79%. This relationship was going along for years, and it was only in 2009, last year, that things became a bit murky and that this debate started. What happened? In April last year, this 21% mining right in the Sishen mine that government through Iscor previously owned and was now owned by ArcelorMittal expired. You will know that in the meanwhile new mining legislation came in which requires private companies to apply for the conversion of mining rights into what we call new order mining rights. Government and the state obviously owns all resources in South Africa, all mineral resources, and basically lend or borrow it to private companies to prospect and to explore. So in April 2009, ArcelorMittal's 21% stake in the Sishen mine expired, and they had to reapply to government to keep the stake, which they didn't do. And this is really where this debate started. ArcelorMittal neglected somehow, and we're still not sure how this happened, how a big listed company could have forgotten or could have neglected to reapply for their right in this mine. What happened? Kumba Resources decided that they now want 100% of this mine. So they decided to themselves apply for this 21% stake. This all happened at the end of April 2009. Kumba Resources submitted their application to the Department of Mineral Resources and were subsequently told by the department that there was also another party that was aiming to get this, called Imperial Crown Trading, a shelf company, unknown shelf company, that was also applying for this rights. Kumba, of course, concerned about this. And then we started to dig. Who is ICT? The media came into the picture. What we found was ICT had two directors, of which one was Gugu Mchali. Who is Gugu Mchali? Well, if you do a quick Google search, you will find that Gugu Mchali worked as a PA to Matthew Sposa, the ANC Treasurer General in Luthuli House, until September last year. And he's also apparently the girlfriend to Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe. So ICT, with two directors, also applies for the stake, and in November last year, Kumba is told by the Department of Mineral Resources that this stake, that this mining right of 21% previously belonging to ArcelorMittal was actually awarded to ICT and not Kumba. Kumba gets very upset. They started filing court papers, and this case will still come before court in this year to finally decide whether everything happened correctly and procedurally in ICT acquiring this right. But Kumba very upset. ICT gets this award, and everybody starts to ask, but who is ICT? How is it possible for what looks like a shelf company on paper to have been awarded a very extremely lucrative mining right in the Sishen mine, providing ArcelorMittal with iron ore? Enters a gentleman called Jacob Zuma. Now, who is Jacob Zuma? Mr. Parek, we are told, was given 50% of ICT in March 2010, after ICT has been awarded the mining right. The Mail & Guardian then goes and delves a bit in Mr. Parek's history and finds that Mr. Parek is indeed a partner and a very senior associate of the Gupta family. So what we have is ICT now being 50% owned by Mr. Jagdish Parek through one of his companies. Mr. Parek is closely linked to the Gupta families. He manages some of their companies. He's a director on some of the boards of the companies. He and the Guptas still contend that this 50% shares is in his name personally. And at this stage, we don't have anything to disprove what they say. But very significantly, Mr. Parek then becomes a shareholder of ICT. The next thing that happens is that ArcelorMittal announces their BE transaction in August 2010, just a week ago. And what do? ArcelorMittal announces that they were buying out the entire ICT for 800 million rands, pending the finalization of the court case that Kumba Resources has instigated. ArcelorMittal also announces that they are putting together a BE transaction which will include the shareholders of ICT, including Mr. Parek, including the Gupta family, as well as a gentleman called Adriaan Zuma, the son of the president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma. Where does Adriaan Zuma fit into this all? Adriaan Zuma is a business partner of one of the Gupta brothers. Their company is included in the BE deal of ArcelorMittal, as well as Mr. Parek and his company, as well as the Gupta family's Oak Bay company that is managed by Mr. Parek. So now we have a picture here of ArcelorMittal not applying for their mining stake in the Sishen mine, the 21% mining stake, losing a stake they had, now rebuying that stake from ICT for 800 million rand. And also including this crowd of people into the BE deal. A lot of questions remain. How did this happen? Where did these people come from? How did the Department of Mineral Resources decide to award the right to ICT? A lot of this will play out in the courts in the next few weeks, but we at the Mail & Guardian Centre for Investigative Journalism will also keep digging into what looks like a very interesting transaction that has already affected South Africa's image in the mining industry and in the international investment community. People asking questions how it's possible that politically connected individuals and even family of the president suddenly enters the business world and become millionaires overnight.